미안하다. 깜빡했다, 셀카. 잘 자라. 난 씻고 자러 간다. 수고해라.
Jungkook was furious at Taehyung. Taehyung could no longer hold back his Tae's fanfiction. Have you ever imagined what would happen if two people who always seemed inseparable suddenly faced a moment that changed everything? What if one misunderstanding was enough to shake a friendship that had survived countless years together? And what if the person everyone believed would never cry was finally unable to hide the pain in his heart? Before you continue, don't forget to leave a comment telling us what you think will happen. And if you enjoy emotional BTS fanfiction, make sure to like and subscribe for more stories. Because what you're about to read is not what anyone expected. No one inside the HYB practice building expected that quiet Tuesday evening to become a memory none of the members would ever forget. The rehearsal had already lasted for more than 6 hours. Sweat covered the mirrors. Music echoed through every hallway. Staff members moved back and forth preparing for another important performance. Everyone looked exhausted, but nobody wanted to complain. After all, this was BTS. Excellence had always come with sacrifice. Jungkook stood alone near the practice room window, breathing heavily after finishing another difficult dance sequence. His expression was unusually serious. Normally, he would joke with the members or tease Taehyung after practice, but today he remained silent. Taehyung noticed it immediately. "Jungkook," he called with a gentle smile. There was no answer. Taehyung walked closer. "Are you okay?" Jungkook finally looked at him, but instead of smiling, he simply nodded before looking away again. Something felt different. The other members exchanged confused glances. Park Ji-min quietly whispered, "He's been acting strange since this morning." Kim Nam-joon noticed the tension but decided not to interfere. Sometimes people simply needed space. Hours later, rehearsal finally ended. The staff congratulated everyone before leaving the room. Only the 7 members remained. Taehyung approached Jungkook one more time. "Do you want to grab dinner together?" Again. Silence. Jungkook slowly packed his bag. "I'm busu." The answer was short. Too short. Taehyung forced a smile even though disappointment flashed across his face. "Maybe tomorrow." Jungkook suddenly stopped. Without turning around, he spoke in a cold voice. "Can you stop pretending everything is fine?" The room instantly became silent. Nobody moved. Taehyung blinked in confusion. "What do you mean?" Jungkook finally turned around. His eyes were filled with frustration. "You know exactly what I mean." "I really don't." "You promised me." The words echoed through the empty practice room. Taehyung's smile disappeared. A forgotten promise. Or perhaps, a misunderstanding neither of them had realized was growing larger each day. Jungkook took one step closer. "I trusted you." Taehyung lowered his head. "I'm sorry, but I don't understand." "You don't understand?" Jungkook's voice rose for the first time. "After everything we've been through." The atmosphere became unbearably tense. Even the members who wanted to step in couldn't find the right moment. Taehyung searched Jungkook's face, trying to understand what had caused such anger. Then, he remembered. A conversation from several weeks earlier. A promise he had unintentionally broken. His heart sank. So, that's what this is about. Jungkook didn't answer. His silence confirmed everything. Taehyung slowly inhaled. "I never meant to hurt you." "But you did." Those 4 words felt heavier than anything Taehyung had ever heard. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then Taehyung quietly whispered, "I thought you would understand." Jungkook looked away. "And I thought you would keep your promise." The room felt colder than ever. Taehyung tried to stay calm. He wanted to explain. He wanted Jungkook to hear everything. But before he could say another word, his voice broke. His eyes became red. He quickly looked down, hoping nobody would notice. Yet it was too late. A single tear fell onto the practice room floor. For the first time in a very long time, Taehyung could no longer hold back his tears. And the moment Jungkook saw that tear, everything inside him began to change. The tiny sound of a tear hitting the wooden floor seemed louder than the music that had filled the practice room only minutes earlier. Jungkook froze. He had imagined Taehyung defending himself. He had expected excuses, maybe even another argument. But he had never imagined seeing Taehyung standing there in complete silence, his shoulders trembling as he struggled to keep his emotions under control. No one spoke. Even the air inside the room felt impossibly heavy. Taehyung quickly wiped his eyes with the sleeve of his hoodie, forcing himself to smile despite the pain that was written all over his face. "I'm sorry," he whispered. His voice was barely audible. "I never wanted things to become like this." Jungkook clenched his fists. The anger that had burned inside him for days suddenly became mixed with something else. Guilt. But the disappointment was still stronger. "You should have told me," Jungkook replied quietly. Taehyung nodded. "I know."
No.
Jungkook shook his head. "You don't know." His breathing became uneven as memories began flooding back into his mind. Just 3 weeks earlier, the two of them had promised to always be honest with each other no matter how difficult the situation became. It had been a simple promise, made during a late-night conversation after practice. They had laughed, shared old memories, and agreed that trust mattered more than anything else. At least, that was what Jungkook had believed. Then everything changed. 4 days Taehyung had become distant. His replies became shorter. He often disappeared after rehearsals without saying where he was going. Whenever Jungkook asked if everything was okay, Taehyung simply smiled and answered that he was fine. But Jungkook knew him too well. That smile wasn't real. It was the kind of smile Taehyung wore whenever he was carrying something painful alone. Jungkook had waited. He had given him time. He had hoped Taehyung would eventually open up. Instead, the distance between them only grew. Across the room, the other members remained silent, sensing that this was something only the two of them could resolve. Taehyung finally looked directly into Jungkook's eyes. "I wasn't hiding the truth because I didn't trust you." "Then why?" "Because I didn't want you to worry." Jungkook laughed bitterly. "And look where that brought us." Taehyung lowered his head again. "I know." His voice cracked once more. "I thought if I handled everything myself, you'd never have to carry my burden. But we are family." The words escaped Jungkook before he even realized he had spoken them. Family. The room became quiet again. Taehyung's eyes widened. 4 years, that single word had meant everything to them. Not because they shared the same blood, but because they had shared dreams, failures, victories, tears, and countless moments that no one else could truly understand. "I forgot that," Taehyung admitted softly.
No.
Jungkook shook his head. "You didn't forget. You were afraid." Taehyung closed his eyes. For a moment he couldn't answer. Because Jungkook was right. He had been afraid. Afraid that his own problems would distract everyone. Afraid that people would see him as weak. Afraid that someone he cared about would be hurt because of him. So he chose silence. And that silence had become a wall. A wall so high that even Jungkook could no longer see what was happening on the other side. "I'm sorry," Taehyung whispered again. "This time, I really mean it." The tears returned despite every effort to stop them. Jungkook looked away. His heart felt painfully conflicted. Part of him still wanted answers. Part of him wanted to stay angry. But another part, the part that remembered every laugh, every late-night conversation, every shared stage, every difficult year they had survived together. That part simply wanted his friend back. Without thinking, Jungkook walked closer. Only one step. Then another. Taehyung looked up, surprised. Neither of them spoke. Finally, Jungkook let out a long sigh. "You really scared me." Taehyung blinked. "I thought." Jungkook hesitated before finishing the sentence. "I thought you didn't need me anymore." Those words hit Taehyung harder than anything else that evening. His eyes filled with tears once again. "How could you even think that?" "Because you stopped letting me in." Taehyung immediately shook his head. "I never stopped needing you." His voice trembled. "I just didn't know how to ask for help." For the first time that night, Jungkook's expression softened. The anger that had built up for weeks slowly disappeared, replaced by something much heavier. Understanding. Neither of them noticed that the other members quietly left the practice room, giving the two friends the privacy they needed. Outside the door, everyone waited silently. No one wanted to interrupt. Inside, only Jungkook and Taehyung remained. Two friends. Two brothers. Separated not by hatred, but by silence. And both of them finally realized that sometimes the deepest wounds are not caused by harsh words. They are caused by the words that are never spoken. The practice room had never felt so quiet. Outside the large glass windows, the lights of Seoul shimmered against the night sky, but inside, time seemed to stand still. Neither Jungkook nor Taehyung moved. The silence between them was no longer filled with anger. It was filled with emotions that both had hidden for far too long. Jungkook slowly released the tight grip of his fists. For the first time that evening, he looked directly into Taehyung's eyes. There was no resentment there anymore. Only exhaustion. "I kept asking myself what I had done wrong," Jungkook admitted, his voice almost breaking. "Every day you smiled at everyone else, but when we were alone, it felt like you were drifting farther away." Taehyung swallowed hard. "I wasn't drifting away from you. It felt like you were. I was trying to protect you." Jungkook let out a quiet laugh. "You've never had to protect me by pushing me away." Those words pierced Taehyung's heart. He remembered every moment he had ignored Jungkook's messages, every invitation he politely declined, every conversation he cut short because he believed hiding his worries was the right thing to do. Instead of protecting someone he cared about, he had only made that person feel abandoned. "I'm sorry," Taehyung whispered again. "I know I've said it several times tonight, but I don't think one apology is enough." Jungkook looked down at the polished wooden floor. "No, it isn't." Taehyung nodded slowly. "I know." For a brief moment, another painful silence settled over them. Then Taehyung took a deep breath. "There is something I never told you." Jungkook raised his eyes. "What is it?" Taehyung hesitated. His heart pounded louder than ever. "I wasn't afraid of my problems. I was afraid that if you saw me at my weakest, you'd be disappointed." Jungkook stared at him in disbelief. "Disappointed?" Taehyung gave a faint, sorrowful smile. "Everyone thinks I always know how to smile. But sometimes, I'm tired. So tired." His voice cracked once more. "There were nights I couldn't sleep. There were mornings when smiling felt harder than rehearsing for 10 hours. I didn't want anyone to notice." Jungkook's eyes widened. All those weeks, all those quiet moments. He had assumed Taehyung simply wanted distance. He never imagined his friend had been silently carrying such emotional weight. Without realizing it, Jungkook took another step closer. "Why didn't you tell me?" Taehyung laughed softly through his tears. "Because you've always been the one everyone relies on. I wanted to be someone you could lean on too." Jungkook shook his head immediately. "That's not how this works." "What do you mean?" "We are supposed to carry things together." The words echoed through the empty room. Taehyung felt his vision blur once again. For years they had shared stages, dreams, fears, victories, failures, and unforgettable memories. Yet somehow, the simplest truth had been forgotten. No one was meant to carry everything alone. Jungkook finally closed the remaining distance between them. For several long seconds, neither of them spoke. Then, quietly, Jungkook reached out and placed a hand on Taehyung's shoulder. "I'm still upset." Taehyung nodded. "I know. And it'll probably take me a little time." "I understand. But..." Jungkook smiled faintly for the first time that evening. "I'm not going anywhere." The moment those words left his lips, Taehyung could no longer stop the tears. They flowed freely now, not because of sadness alone, but because of relief. He had spent weeks fearing he had lost someone who meant the world to him. Instead, he had been given another chance. "I'm not going anywhere either," Taehyung whispered. Jungkook chuckled. "You'd better not." The tension that had filled the room all evening slowly melted away. Outside the practice room door, the other members exchanged hopeful glances as they heard something they hadn't expected. Laughter. It was quiet. It was brief. But after hours of painful silence, it sounded like hope. The door slowly opened. Namjoon peeked inside first. "Can we come in now?" Jungkook and Taehyung looked at each other before smiling. Almost at the same time, they answered, "Yeah." The remaining members entered one by one. No one asked what had happened. No one demanded explanations. Instead, they simply gathered together, talking about ordinary things, sharing jokes, and slowly filling the room with warmth again. As the night grew later, Jungkook glanced at Taehyung once more. There were still conversations left to have. There were still wounds that would need time to heal. But one thing had become clear. The strongest friendships are not the ones that never face conflict. They are the ones willing to choose honesty, forgiveness, and understanding when conflict appears. And deep inside both their hearts, they silently made a new promise. Never again would silence be allowed to speak louder than trust.